Hey guys, my name is Matimio, and today I have undertaken the Phantom Bow Headshot Challenge. This has been one that I've been holding off on, because while I know a lot of you have been recommending it for quite some time, I knew that it was going to be absurd. I knew that this was going to be a ridiculous one. Over the last couple of months, I've actually grown to appreciate this weapon. When it first launched, I thought it was terrible, and I still think it's awful. It's easily one of the worst weapons of Battlefield 4, but after using it for about 7 to 8 hours now, nearing 500 kills, I've almost got the Mastery Dog tag, I've grown to appreciate its subtleties. I've slowly starting to get acclimated to how this thing performs on the battlefield, and getting multiple kills back to back and humiliating your enemy with this thing is incredibly satisfying. The twist to this one though, and the reason why I've dubbed it the Headshot Challenge, is because instead of using the standard broadhead arrow, which everyone uses when they're using the Phantom Bow, the one where if your enemy is 35 meters and closer and they're not using a defensive field upgrade, you drop them with one arrow even if you hit them in the chest, it's amazing. I'm going to be using the bullet point arrow. The bullet point is nice, it has a faster bullet velocity, it doesn't have as much bullet drop, but it doesn't do 100 damage. The only way that you're able to drop your enemy with one arrow, which is pretty much a necessity if you want to come out of a firefight alive, is if you hit them in the head. In close encounter combat, this thing only does 80 damage. If I'm in a firefight with someone and they're only 2 feet away, if I hit them in the chest, I'm dead. Unless I have some very fancy footworking, unless I'm able to go through that very lengthy reload animation, get another arrow notched and drawn, there's no way that I'm going to be able to survive that firefight. And so basically guaranteed that if I wanted to be successful, that I had to go for headshots, and that was the main way that I was going to be able to complete today's challenge. Probably the biggest thing that I had to overcome though, and one of the things I struggled with for the first couple of hours, is simply identifying where my arrow is landing. Because you want to snipe with this, clearly, I don't want to play aggressively. If I play aggressively, I'm going to get slapped around by assault rifles and the improved shotguns. I want to snipe people at a distance, but because you can't use a higher optic here, you're only using the iron sights, for the first couple hours, it was just a struggle to identify where my arrow was landing. I got a lot of hit markers for the first couple of hours. I got a lot of just shots where I could have swore I should have hit the enemy, but I just could not for the life of me figure out where my arrow was landing. And so it really just was a lot of guessing work. I had to fire a lot of arrows down range. I just had to kind of play the guessing game, and slowly, ever so slowly, after these couple of hours, I got acclimated to the travel speed. I got acclimated to where this thing was landing at certain distances, and that's when I started to make these impressive shots, or what I felt to be at least fairly impressive shots. It really made me want to have a higher optic customization. I realize that's not 100% authentic. I realize it doesn't make sense to have an 8x scope or even an ACOG scope slapped onto a bow. That's not entirely realistic, but the fact that this is meant for sniping, the bullet point arrow is meant for taking people at long range, there were times where I couldn't even see my enemy because the iron sights were obstructing all of my vision. They were so small out in the distance because of course I'm trying to take them out at long range, which is what the arrow is all about, but because they're behind a barrel and all I can see is their head, the iron sight blocks all of my vision and I can't see them whatsoever. It just seems a little bit silly. And while I realize that it wouldn't be 100% authentic, and I know DICE's viewpoint on the bow, they want it to be a challenge, it just would have been nice if there was a higher optic, at least like one higher optic, where it could have some advantage at long range combat. That's just my 2 cents though. But probably the nicest aspect about this challenge is that I didn't have to worry about players using the defensive field upgrade whatsoever. Normally, the defensive field upgrade is the bane of my existence when I'm running around with the Phantom because I'm trying to be aggressive. I'm using the broadhead. I want to get that one-shot killing potential, aiming for their chest because it's the easiest thing to aim at. But when I get that hit marker, because they're only using a field upgrade, something they didn't even have to work for, it's infuriating. With this loadout though, because I am using the bullet point arrow, even if I got a chest shot, it wouldn't have mattered, even if they were using the defensive field upgrade, and so it became obsolete. I didn't even have to think about it. Ironically, this made the entire challenge way less rage-inducing. When I normally do these challenges, especially with a bow, there are moments where I just get pissed off. I don't like to rage quit. It's something that I am always working on. I like to play video games to have fun with it. It's the main reason why I do this video series. They're a lot of fun. I like to challenge myself. It's why I do this every week. But there are some times when you enter a round and you get slaughtered over and over and over again and nothing works, and it starts to rub off on you. You get a little infuriated, and sometimes I have to back away. That didn't happen whatsoever when I sat down to get gameplay for today's video. It was awesome. I knew I needed a patient. I knew that I just kind of had to stick with it. And when I started to get those headshots, and especially when I started to get multiple headshots back to back, it made it all the more enjoyable. And so overall, I'm really happy that I undertook today's challenge. I was dreading it, I was holding off on it, but I should have just done this a long time ago because it was amazing. Sniping someone 100 meters away when they're moving around and landing that headshot is incredibly gratifying. And while I would not really recommend this as a normal loadout, if you want to challenge yourself and you want to start to get involved in something that does require a lot of skill, there is luck involved here. Like, don't get me wrong, it doesn't have an instant travel speed, but in general, this is a hell of a lot of fun once you start to get the hang of it, and I highly recommend that you give it a whirl. But yeah, guys, that is about it for today's challenge. I hope you enjoyed. As always, if you have a setup that you would like me to try next, let me know down below. This is a video series that is based off of your recommendations. I choose from the wide variety of challenges that you guys recommend, and so if there is a gadget that you would like me to use exclusively, or a weapon with a terrible combination of attachments that sounds like a lot of fun, let me know down below in the comments. But yeah, until tomorrow, have a good one, and take it easy.